Hey guys, JKMan99 here, and here we are. It's my final election prediction video. This is my final election prediction for the year. Now, I will admit I actually already did one. I actually recorded it as well, but I'm actually going to disregard the entire thing because I decided at the very last second to make a change to one state, and I will tell you what change I made at the very end of the video. So I'm going to go in the order that it will at the times. I have the times right here in my hand. You can't see me, obviously, but I will list which states are going which way. Now, what I'll do is I will name a state as I go through, and then after I go through all of the times, I will come back for the undecided states, and I'll just make a decision. So here we go. And everything's Eastern Standard Time for those of you who don't live in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So here we go. So at 7 o'clock, we have poll closings in Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Virginia, and Vermont. I say Indiana is going to go Republican. I say Kentucky is going to go Republican. And I say that Vermont is going to go Democrat. So it's going to be 19-3. And actually, I also say South Carolina will go Republican fairly quickly. And Virginia will be too close to call. Georgia will be too early to call. And obviously, we're still waiting on Florida because it's only hit part of the state. At 7:30, we have poll closings in North Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia. And the only thing I'm going to say right now is West Virginia. The rest of them are too close to call. At 8 o'clock, we have poll closings in a bunch of states. Alabama is going to go Republican. Let's do all the Republican ones first. Let's see here. Kansas, it was not actually ready yet, so that's next. Let's see. Wow, there's not that many Republican ones. Let's see. Mississippi will go Republican. Missouri's going to go Republican. Let's see. North Dakota will go Republican, though actually not yet. They don't go yet. But they will be Republican at 9 o'clock. So I already hit it, so we'll keep it. Oklahoma will go Republican. Pennsylvania is too close to call. Tennessee will go Republican here. And Texas is too close to call. And that's it for the Republicans. Now for the Democrats, there's going to be a bunch. Connecticut, it's going to go, Connecticut's going to go Democrat. Delaware is going to go Democrat. Illinois is going to go Democrat. Maine, I actually have the entire state going Democrat this time. Maryland is going to go Democrat. Massachusetts, Democrat. Let's see here. Mississippi, that's already gone. It's already gone. New Hampshire, I'm going to have it go Democrat. Jersey's going to go Democrat. Pennsylvania, again, too close to call. Rhode Island, Democrat. Let's see. And then DC, Democrat. So at the end of this, I'm going to have 88 for the Democrats, 79 for Republicans. So obviously 83 Biden, 79 Trump. At 8:30, Arkansas is going to close, and Arkansas is going to go to the Republicans. So just to give an accurate count here, we got Democrat 83, Biden 83, Trump 82. I got rid of the North Carolina one, even though we are about to change it because we are at the 9 o'clock now, where there's a bunch of states that close. So here we go. We're going to do the Republican ones first. Kansas is going to go to Trump. Louisiana is going to go to Trump. Michigan's going to be too close to call. Nebraska's going to go to Trump. And yes, I have the entire state going to Trump. I have both North and South Carolina, or Dakota, excuse me, going to Trump. And yeah, I'm going to say that whole too close to call thing. Well, actually, you know what? No, I'm not. Wisconsin's going to be too close to call, but Wyoming will go to Trump. All right, so that's for the Democrats at this hour. They are going to take Arizona is going to be too close. They will take Colorado at this point. They will take Minnesota. That's not going to be too close this time. And New York is going to go to Biden as well. And Wisconsin is going to be too close. All right, so let's move on here. We're going to move on to the 10 o'clock hour. The current count is Biden 134 or 131. I can't read. And Trump 110. Let's go to the 10 o'clock hour. We're going to have, I think this time, Iowa went late into the evening last time. I think it's actually going to, Iowa's tough. Actually, I'm going to say Iowa's a toss-up. I just disagreed with myself. I'm going to say it's going to take longer. Montana, however, is going to go to Trump. And Utah is going to go to Trump. And that's what we have at this hour, with Iowa being too close. And Nevada, though, is going to go to Biden. So we have 131 or 137 Biden, 119 Trump. Can't read numbers. All right, so let's move on to the 11 o'clock hour. And at the 11 o'clock hour, it's going to be a good time for the Democrats. Basically, what's going to happen is California, Oregon, and Washington State are all going to go to Biden, and Idaho is going to go to Trump. So after 11 o'clock, it's going to be 211 Biden, 123 Trump. And then at 12 midnight, Hawaii will close. And at that point, Hawaii is going to go to Joe Biden. So at this point, we're going to have 215 Biden, 123 Trump. And then finally, for the last actual close of the evening, we're going to have Alaska close for Trump. So then everything else is a toss-up. And then we're going to have 215 Biden, 126 Trump. Okay. And everything else is going to be a toss-up. Okay, so let's go with some Republican ones. Georgia is going to go Republican. I say Florida is going to go Republican. And I say Ohio is going to go Republican. Obviously, this is the part of the evening when I'm going into what I think is going to happen versus nothing that has to do with the polls. I just don't see any turnaround that the Democrats have done with both Ohio and Florida. Florida a little bit closer, but it seems like each time that we say, oh, we got the polls in Florida, but then the Democrats don't pull through. Same thing with North Carolina. North Carolina is going to stay in the Republican column. And finally, yes, Texas is going to go Republican. So at this point, Donald Trump will take the lead, 242 to Joe Biden at 215. Now, let's give Biden some states. New Mexico. It's going to be close for maybe a couple seconds, and then it'll go to Biden. Or it might even be too early. It won't stay undecided very long. But again, I'm not basing this off of, well, they're going to go through. And it's honestly, it's entirely possible that they name that blue right at 9. I think I actually missed it going through the first time. Okay, and then Michigan, it's going to go to Biden. And just based off of the polling, I'm not comfortable with this, but I'm going to say that Virginia's going to go to Biden too. I've always struggled with Virginia because, oh boy, it used to be a red state, and then Obama took it, but every year since then, it's gone more and more Republican. Hillary barely won it in 2016. So I've always kind of been like, that might be the state that Trump gets that guarantees him the win, but nothing in the polling is coming close to suggesting that. So I think it'll be a toss-up again, but I do think Biden will come through with it. So we are at 249 Biden, 242 Trump, and we are down to these 4 states, and I think these will be the final 4 states of, I would say, the evening, but let's just say whenever this happens. Arizona, Iowa, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Okay, these are the big ones. Iowa, I am struggling with. I'm going back and forth. In my first election video, I gave it to Trump. I kind of want to give it to Biden here. The representation in the House is more Democratic. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it in the Republican column because I think there's a chance that Joni Ernst wins. And I think that when it comes to both the Senate and the presidential vote out down the Republican line, it's going to stay. If they're going to vote, I don't think one or the other is going to win. I think they'll either both win or they'll both lose. And since I think Joni Ernst is going to win again, then therefore I believe that Trump will win. So Iowa stays red. So that brings us to Arizona, Wisconsin, and PA. Now, based on, as you know, my previous video, I told you that like in Congress, Wisconsin actually has more representatives that are Republican than Democrat. However, I really think back to the governor race, how they oust their governor, they put in a Democratic governor since Trump got elected. So overall, for me, the feeling for Wisconsin is that they've done more blue action than red action in the last 4 years. So I think Wisconsin has crossed back over to the blue, and I'm giving Wisconsin to Biden. So here we go, guys. This is really where I'm at. So let me try to do this in the most dramatic fashion as I can. Let's go to Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania, as I said in my congressional video, Pennsylvania is even down the road. Now I got to talk about the congressional representation thing for a little second here. I went back and I looked at like actual election versus congressional makeup back in like 2004, for example. And I'll tell you guys, like that was very eye-opening to me. How like my little experiment from before doesn't really mean that much because, for example, in that year, both Connecticut and Delaware actually had more Republican House of Representatives, and actually the Dakotas had a Democrat. Both Dakotas had a Democrat representing. So, but yet the Dakotas went for Bush, and Connecticut and Delaware went for Kerry. So what does that tell you? Does it tell you that that method is crap? No, it doesn't do that. It just tells you that it's not exactly the way things are. So you can't say that okay, it's split down the middle. It's going to come down to like 2 people in Pennsylvania. You can't say that. So for me with Pennsylvania, it comes down to what's going on in terms of new people registering to vote. The last I heard, I might be wrong on this, and if you guys want to correct me, please do. Last I heard, Republican registration was up 2-1 in comparison to Democratic registration to vote in terms of new registration. Now, that is eye-opening to me because it might come down to that margin of a number in Pennsylvania. It might only come down to 50,000, 60,000 people. So adding in those new voters, I think, is very eye-opening. So for me, Biden gets back these two, but I don't think he gets Pennsylvania. So I'm giving Pennsylvania to Donald Trump. And now I will finally reveal to you where my previous election video was versus this one. Now, in my previous election video, I had Biden winning 270 to 268. And that was because in my election video, I had flipped Arizona. Now, for a while, Arizona was leaning towards Biden. And actually, if you go to 538 right now, it actually says that Biden basically has a better chance of winning Arizona than Florida. But that means nothing in this scenario because look, Trump won Florida in my scenario. So what I'm thinking about when it comes to Arizona is precedent. I know they got Senator McCain down there cheering Joe Biden on as well, and that's got to be telling for the people of Arizona, I would think, right? But the thing with Arizona is that they've switched it from leaning Biden to toss up since I did my first election prediction video, which again I did not upload, so you just have to take my word for it. But the fact that Arizona, which has been Republican for years now, was leaning blue, but now is back at toss up, tells me that it's going back in a traditional. It's looking like it's going back to what it's been doing. So reluctantly, I decided to, after making it blue, I'm going to change Arizona back to red. And that, my dear friends, is my final election prediction that at 279 to 259, Donald Trump once again wins the presidency. So, I mean, what's funny about this whole thing, and I'll just show you really quick, like, if I had given this to my original prediction was, of course, that Biden won, and look at what happens. Boom, it switches. You can mess around with the districts of Maine, and it ties. If you do it like this, which, of course, let me just put it back because this is not my prediction. And then for Trump, I mean, yeah, oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's states that, I mean, if he loses Georgia or North Carolina, which I haven't really touched, I can't go out on a limb and say that like North Carolina becomes the new state that puts Biden over the top. I'm not ready to go there yet. That would though giving Biden North Carolina or giving Biden Georgia and keeping everything else the same here gives him lets him win. And yes, it is his home state of Pennsylvania, if you will, from Scranton, Pennsylvania. So I mean, there's still a good chance Biden wins Pennsylvania, so that's possible, and that would obviously put him over too. Again, it just comes down to that 2-for-1 that bugs me. So, and now the funny thing is that like Iowa, I actually, while I was doing this, I made Iowa red, and in my last prediction I made before this, again the one I did not record, I actually did switch Iowa to blue, but that actually wouldn't give the victory to Biden because it's only 6, and it would only get him 265. So, anyways, guys, this is my prediction. So. Comment down. Let me know what you think of this prediction. Let me know if you think Biden's going to win, which states he will definitely win that I did not predict here. And if there's any states that I predicted blue that you think Trump's going to win, let me know what those ones are and why. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you don't like the results, please get out there and vote. If you do like the results, vote anyway, or else they might not come true. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching this election prediction video. And as always, take care.